Here's an easy sweat loss test you can do on your next run. As trail and ultra runners, it's super important that we stay hydrated, but hydrate properly. Do you know if you're drinking enough or too much? So in this video, I'm going to take you on a step-by-step process that you can do on your next run. It's super easy, super simple. All you got to do is go for a run and measure it, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. I shot this video on July 2nd. I live in Southern California, so getting ready for the heat, because it's only going to keep getting hotter from here. It was super important. It's on my mind, so I want to share this with you and the other fellow My Endurance Lifers that are part of my coaching and the online community that I have. So if you're new here, I want to say welcome. My name's Eric. I'm a USCA Ultra Running Certified Coach. I love running, talking about running, and helping other runners like you become better runners. If you want to download one of my free resources that I have on my website and become an ultra runner, I have a free 50K guide on there. Just go to myendurancelife.com. If you are already familiar with me and you want to join our coaching, tap on the green button that says take your fit test, and it's the next step in joining the My Endurance Life team, where I'll work with you one-on-one or in a group coaching setting and take you to whatever distance you want to go. So again, that's myendurancelife.com. Go ahead and pause this video so you don't forget. Go there now, myendurancelife.com, download one of the free guides or join our coaching. Okay. But with that being said, I'm going to get right into the training. So again, this is an easy step-by-step process that you can do on your next run to measure exactly how much fluid you're losing within an hour. So I like to keep my training as simple as possible. So it's going to be an hour-long test that we're going to do. And I'm going to be doing it with you. So as you can see that I went on a run, and I did the test along with you so you can see the results. And I think you might be shocked because today, when I did my run, wasn't a particularly hot day. The sun was out. I was fully exposed though, and I ended up sweating a lot more than I had anticipated because, like I said, it's early in the summer. Summer just kicked in for us in Southern California, and as we move further into the summer, it's going to get hotter. So I'm going to have to take this test again. So which brings up a couple reasons why I encourage you to watch this video all the way through, because I'm going to share different reasons why you should do this test multiple times depending on the length of your race, the type of season, because sweat loss in the summer is going to be a lot different than sweat loss in the winter. So if you live in the southern hemisphere and it's winter for you right now, or you catch this video later and it's fall, wintertime, spring, it will behoove you to do this test again per season and per distance of the race, which I'll explain later. Okay. So step one is you're going to find a digital bathroom scale. Just something you can find on Amazon. I'm sure you already have one at home, but make sure it's digital so you can see the weight broken down into tenths of a pound, so you can do the math super easy. So take off all your clothes, get completely naked. And the reason we want to do this is because we're going to weigh ourselves again after the run. And as we run and sweat, we're going to absorb that moisture, which can kind of throw off our math just ever so slightly. So to be as accurate as possible, just go ahead and get naked. You'll put your clothes on before you run, so don't worry about that. So step on the scale, weigh yourself, write it down, or take a picture if you think you might not remember. And then, I want to make one thing super important before you weigh yourself. Make sure you go to the bathroom first. So, because you don't want to weigh yourself and then go to the bathroom, because that's going to throw it off too. Also, we don't want to be halfway through our run and then have to go to the bathroom, because that's going to throw off our end measurement. So if you have to go to the bathroom now, get it out of the way, then weigh yourself. Okay, so step two is go for a run. Okay, we're going to go for an hour-long run. The reason we want to go for an hour-long run is because it's just easy to do the math that way. You know, you can do it for half an hour, but you might not generate enough body heat or get enough exposure to really start sweating in the amount of time that it's going to take, because once your body warms up, it's going to start sweating more. So if you start on your run, as you run, your body heats up, it's going to start sweating. It might take you 10-15 minutes to even start sweating, depending on the condition or the humidity and all those different factors. So go for an hour-long run. And we want to do this run at our race pace and as close to race scenario as possible. So if you're training for an ultra marathon and you're going to be on the trails with a lot of elevation, try to pick a loop or an out and back that's going to have some trails or hill climbs that are similar to the race you're going to be doing, so you can put your body under those same conditions, under the same stress load. Because an easy hour run along a flat beach trail when you're close to the beach is going to be a lot different than if you're going to be doing a desert run. So if you have the option or the availability to do it as close to your race condition as possible, I highly encourage that. Okay, here's a couple reasons why I wanted to bring up doing it multiple times, or why for those longer races, especially if you're training for a 100K, 100 miler. It's going to be drastic, the changes that you're going to go through. So number one, if you're doing this at the beginning of summer, like I did, then as our bodies get more heat adapted, they become more efficient at cooling. The way our bodies become efficient at cooling is by sweating. So as we get better at cooling ourselves, we're going to be sweating more. So if I do this test in a month from now, in August or September, that I'm going to be sweating a lot more. So I'm going to be doing this test again in August and September. The race I'm training for is in September, so I have a couple months to get ready for that. So I want to see how my body's adapting to the heat as it gets warmer for a September race. And I can almost guarantee that the fluid amount that I need now is going to be different than the fluid amount that I need later in the summer. So test it again throughout the summer just to know how your body's adapting to the heat and how much fluid you're losing. Okay, reason number two is, especially for those longer races, 100K, 100 milers. When we start out in the morning, it's nice and cool. Usually those races start up around 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And depending on the altitude or even some races start at nighttime in the summer, it's going to be a lot different than when the sun comes up. So I'm going to test myself in the morning. Race starts at 6 a.m. I'm going to go for an hour-long run at 6 a.m., maybe even 7 or 8 a.m. Just knowing that, okay, at this time in the morning when it's cool and my body's fresh, I'm going to be sweating at this rate. Test yourself again in the heat of the day. At the heat of the day, in an hour, I'm losing this amount of fluid. So I know during this part of the race or this part of the day, I'm going to have to increase my volume of fluid consumption. And the reason I'm saying fluid is because this test is just to measure fluid loss. It's not for electrolyte, it's not for sodium loss or anything like that. Those are completely different tests that you can do outside of this. This is just for fluid sweat rate loss, so you know how to maintain your body's needs as you run. What you're hydrating with along the way, electrolytes, some kind of sodium drink. I like to use Redmond Salt's Relight. It's linked in the description below. If you want to try Redmond Salt's Relight, it's my favorite. Use that link, enter discount code LIFER, and you'll get 15% off all your orders. Their products are amazing. I love it. It is an affiliate code, so I do get a little bit of a kickback from that. It helps support the channel and the My Endurance Life community, so just thank you up front for doing that. But if you have your own electrolyte drink and you're happy with it, then just continue on with that. Okay. Step number three, or reason number three, is very similar to reason number two. 100K, 100 milers. Unless you're like Jim Walmsley, who just ran a 14-hour 100 miler in Western States, and you can finish your long race before the sun goes down, this might not apply to you. But if you're the average person like me, or like a lot of the people that I coach, that we're going to be running into the night and through the night. And so what that means, as the temperature decreases, we're going to have to decrease our fluid needs. We're going to have to decrease the volume. So we want to be ready for that, because we don't want to keep chugging and chugging and chugging like it was the middle of the day when the temperature drops. The reason is because we're going to flush ourselves and have to keep up on our electrolytes a lot more, and our sodium intakes a lot more, because we're going to have to be peeing. And if we're not sweating, then our body has to get rid of that fluid somehow, which means we're going to be stopping to pee every 15-20 minutes, every couple miles, which is going to be super annoying. You're going to lose a lot of time, and there's no need for it. And then if you watched Mike McKnight over the Cocodona 250 race, he actually started retaining a lot of it and gained 10 or 15 pounds just of fluid. So we want to stay on top of that for the different temperature increases, decreases throughout our race. And especially this can change per the topography of the race. If you know that a super hot canyon is coming up, it could be 10 or 15 degrees warmer than the summit that you just came down. So knowing where you are on the course is also going to determine how much fluid you need. So that's one thing to think about when you're planning your race, when you're planning your strategy, your drop bags, or your crewing, so they can give you a heads up. Okay, remember, you're in this hot canyon, you want to increase your fluid intake by this much. And so we're going to figure out how to do that right now. Okay, so after you finish your 1 hour run, get back home, take off all your clothes, and then step back on the scale. You're going to see that you lost a lot. I mean, comparative to what you were probably thinking. As you can see, that I lost over 2 pounds in this 1 hour run. And to me, I didn't even think that I was sweating that much along the race, which brings up another good point. Depending on the conditions you're in, if it's high humidity, of course you're going to feel the sweat. But if it's a drier or windier day like I was running on today, that your sweat's going to be evaporating from you so quickly that you're not going to notice it. So you might not think that you need that much water, because it doesn't feel like you're sweating, but in essence it's evaporating off you so quick that you don't notice, but you still need, and your body still requires that amount of fluid. So let's just say that I burned, or I lost an even 2 pounds, just for the sake of math. So that means that for this run, this time of the day, that my body requires 32 ounces of water, because I lost 2 pounds, 16 ounces per pound. So for me, if this was a real race, in a real scenario, I would have 2 handheld bottles. One with regular water, one with my random salt electrolyte drink. So, keeping it up on both, trying to consume 32 ounces of water per hour. That might sound like a lot to you, which means that you're going to have to train this and get used to drinking this amount of fluid during your training runs. So any run like over 2 hours where you've already done your sweat loss test, really focus on building up to drinking this amount of fluid, because last thing we want is an upset stomach or that sloshy feeling, trying to chug a lot of water all at once. So the sipping method seems to work best for me, where I'm just constantly sipping. Every couple of minutes, just taking a drink. One from my regular water, one from my electrolyte. One from my regular water, one from my electrolyte. That's worked for me. It's helped me along these long, hot summer months and through my races. So, in conclusion, thanks for watching, and let me know if this helps you. Let me know if you learned something. Leave a comment below. If you want to join the My Endurance Life team, go to myendurancelife.com. Download one of the free guides, or check out our coaching. Be stoked to work with you and help you become ultra if you're not an ultra runner yet, or take you to that new distance. So again, let me know if this helped you. Subscribe, do all that stuff, turn on your notifications, whatever all the YouTube people tell you to do. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next training video.